Lightning Cards here, and today's video is going to be a basic guides video on the main character of Under Knife and Birth, Hyde Kido. In this video, I'm mostly going to be talking about Hyde's normals, his special, what's his VOPAL trait, and his game plan and overall strategies. I am not going to be covering combos because Mission Mode does a great job at showing old players and new players alike practical shit. So if y'all want to learn combos for this character, please don't neglect the Mission Mode. Hop on it and learn some cool shit. But that being said, if y'all enjoyed the video, leave a like. If y'all fuck with the content, subscribe and comment down below on what character basic guide you want to see next. But that being said, let's hop into the video. In this segment of the video, I'm only going to be discussing Hyde's best normals, why they're the best, and why you should use and abuse these normals while playing this character. The normals I'm going to be talking about and showcasing are Hyde's 3C, his go-to anti-air normal, 6B, charge 5C, 5B, dash C or 66C, and 66B. These are the normals for new players that I want y'all to understand why they're so great and why you should abuse these normals as much as possible, right? Let's start off with 3C. 3C, like I said before, is one of Hyde's go-to anti-air normals. And the main reason for that is because of the vertical range that this normal has. Let me showcase this for y'all. Let's say your opponent is doing a random dumbass assault. He keeps jumping on you. He's high up in the air. You have 3C as your best friend. Look at the vertical range. Let me see if I can hit him at the tip of the air. Look how high, right? This is your go-to anti-air normal, and the amount of reward and damage you get on successful anti-air is insane. I whiffed there, but if you get a combo, it can go between 3k to 3.5k damage off a single anti-air, right? 3C is a goated ass anti-air normal, arguably one of the best anti-air normals in Under Knife and Birth. And 3C also does a little bit of chip damage on block, which is really good. You see my opponent's health bar? It does a little bit of chip damage on block. So when you're in a block string, it kind of adds up the more you're pressuring your opponent. Almost dropped my fucking arcade. Well, let's continue. Another great normal that Hyde has is 6B. 6B is Hyde's best standing normal, period. I don't care what anybody says, this normal is goated. And I'm going to showcase to you why it is. 6B does three things for you. 6B resets your pressure. 6B can kind of punish assaults. 6B is a natural combo starter on hit, not even on counter hit, regular hit. So let me show this to y'all. Regular hit, you can get a combo off. My fault. Let me put them off guard. All guard. Regular hit, you can get a combo. So you can do regular, any type of combo starter, corner. It's great. And 6B is also good for taking back your turn because it's one of Hyde's, I think it's Hyde's second fastest normal outside of 5A in terms of standing, right? So 5A I think is like 6-7 frames or 6 frames. 6B is 7 to 8 frames, right? But since 6B is a natural combo starter on hit, this is how you kind of take back your turn. So if you see a gap that opponent has or that opponent is doing in a box string, 6B, eat their ass, get your turn back, and get the damage as well as the corner carry. This normal is goated. So for my new beginner players, 6B is really good. And like I said, and I'm going to say this one last time, it's also great for resetting pressure. But the only downside with 6B is if you commit too much to the normal, let's say on the second hit, The second hit, you can't normal cancel into anything. You can only special cancel. So you see second hit, I'm mashing every normal in the book. I can't do anything else. I gotta commit to special cancels. So it's also good for kind of spacing yourself out and keep yourself at a range where you can continue your pressure. 6B is goated. For my new players and my beginner players that want to learn Hyde, abuse and use 6B. It will grant you a lot of W. Another great normal that Hyde has, alternatively for assault punishments, is 5B. 5B ain't good at 6B, but 5B has its own utility, right? Again, 5B can be used to punish assaults. You see? And I think on regular hit, you can get a combo if you react well enough. You get a little conversion, which is good. But 5B ain't really used outside of block strings and kind of just ending your pressure, right? 5B and 6B kind of have the same range, so it's good for linking into each other. You could do 5B 6B or 6B 5B. It's good for kind of going back and forth. Another great normal Hyde has, his best dash normal or his best neutral normal, Dash C. Why is Dash C such a goated normal? Dash C on regular hit, right? Regular hit, again, natural combo starter. So now I can do Dash C's on the floor. I can link it to 2C, 3C, 6B, I think 5A into 5C. You can do a bunch of normals to start a combo when you get a successful hit with Dash C. Another great thing about Dash C is that in certain matchups, it can evade DPs. Because Dash C, if you use it in a specific range or depending on the spacing you are next to your opponent, you can go behind your opponent, right? You can go behind the player's character. So if someone wakes up and they try DP, you can kind of evade it. But that's only matchup specific things. Like, he can only do that with certain characters, not the whole roster. The other great thing about Dash C is, let's say you grab your opponent, right? Dash C can kind of be used as a means of checking your opponent mid-screen while waking up with shit. So let's put my training dummy to use 6B, right? So let's say I grab my opponent, he does 6B, I can check him with Dash C. So this is kind of used as a little meaty in the mid-range. I grab Dash C, and again, counter hit. Let me do it one more time to showcase. Counter hit, I get any other combo I want. I think y'all get the point. The last normal I'm going to be talking about, or the last two normals I'm going to be talking about, is Hyde's Charge C and his Dash B, right? Charge C is self-explanatory. The charge version is +1 on block depending on the range. And I think if you rebeat it with 2A, it can go as high as +4. But again, the frame data varies. So you might get a +1, you might get a +2, you might get a +3. It depends where you're at or how well you're spaced, right? So the regular C version is not plus, but I think 5C can kind of punish assaults also. Let me showcase this to y'all. Yeah, it can kind of punish assaults in a weird way if they jump a little too early or right into it. But I wouldn't really recommend using 5C as a means of anti-errant, as its own merits in the block streak. So strictly use it for kind of resetting your pressure. And overall 5C is a decent norm. Dash B is really only used to kind of grab your opponent. So if your opponent does Dash B, you can grab Dash B into 2A. Dash B maybe assault if your opponent is patient enough. And so on and so forth. Dash B doesn't really have that much utility. I think on counter hit is one of Hyde's best starters. If you actually get the counter hit. So he falls, trumbles back. You can get any starter. You feel what I'm saying? So that has its own utility, right? And I know I wasn't going to discuss Hyde's assault normals, but I might as well incorporate it now. One of Hyde's best J normals or assault normals is either JB, JC, or J2B or J2B. Again, you can get a combo, and J2C floats the opponent up to where you can get that corner carry route. Right? I know I'm fucking up, but I think y'all get the picture. But the fastest overhead or assault normal is JA, and you kind of want to open up your opponent or keep them kind of guessing. JA is really good. Grabs and all that. And I think that's overall it in terms of Hyde's normals. Hyde's normals are really good. They all cover a lot of things. 6B being the most godlike normal, and dash C. 3C is your anti-air. So please use and abuse these shits when you're playing Hyde. We talked about Hyde's normals. Let's go in depth with his specials, right? Hyde has probably 6 specials. 2 of them which are EX only, and 4 of them just being regular specials but different variations, right? Let's talk about the one you're going to be using the most in neutral, which is his orbital. The orbital has 3 variations, right? 236A is a slow version of orbital, but the thing about this one is it has less recovery than the B version. The B version is faster, but I can't press a button afterwards. 236A, I can press a normal afterwards. You see? I can press A before it even gets to my opponent. But again, that depends on the range. If I'm a little close, it might not do that. But you know, it's still a good way of kind of keeping yourself safe. And 236A is kind of meant for frame trapping, right? So you will kind of do like dash C to 236A orbital. And because of the recovery, I could do a normal afterwards. So I could probably do something like dash C, 236A, dash C, and kind of keep my pressure going, right? 236B, like I said before, is the fast version of it. And the great thing about Hyde is that he has follow-ups when it comes to his orbital. So if you do 236A and then you input 236A again, he does this little disappearance with his orbital. This follow-up or orbital is mainly used to stop your opponent from jumping in on you. Let me showcase this to y'all now. Let's say your opponent sees you're spamming orbital or you're constantly throwing orbitals in a neutral. He assaults over it, right? The 236A version follow-up is meant to stop that. And it has a pretty decent hitbox, right? And in weird instances and interaction, it can kind of hit behind your opponent's character, which is really good, right? So if he's jumping, 236A. For my beginner Hyde players, doing this in a neutral like this is not necessarily a bad thing. But again, over the course of you playing it, matchups will present itself. So doing this early on can help you a lot, but when you fight different characters, this option might become null and void because certain characters can punish this, right? The other follow-up version that Hyde has is 236B follow-up, right? Which is like a little downward sword attack or follow-up sword attack, right? This is mainly used to kind of second guess your opponent, to kind of see if he's going to mash or make an interaction after you're done using orbitals. So if you're doing orbitals like this all the time, you'll kind of sneak 236B in, and upon using 236B, you can also EX cancel into the C version of orbital to kind of reset your pressure. So that's really good. And again, these follow-ups are also great for combo routes, right? I can do dash C. Let me get them off of all guard. I can do dash C, 236A, 236A, get a combo. I can do dash C, 236 thing, get a combo. These follow-ups are very good and universal to where you can it doesn't matter which follow-up you go to, you always can get a consistent conversion. 236B, 236A. Hyde is very free in terms of how you want to structure your combos. So you can kind of freestyle with him a little bit. The newest thing that Hyde got in terms of the orbital is the new orbital he got in clear, which is 236A, 236A or 236B, and then you follow up with 236C. So so instead of doing regular C version orbital, you do a regular orbital 236C. It's a full screen projectile. And to go in depth for why I think the developers gave him this was because Hyde has a lot of trouble with characters that can basically outrange him. And this addition to his kit just makes those matchups more tolerable for him to fight, right? So let's say, for example, he's fighting a Batista or a Hilda. They're zoning Hyde down. Now, since I have 236C follow-up, I can kind of contest them at the range that I wasn't able to in late and ST, which is a really good addition to this character, right? And also, at the high level, I think this can also hit players from behind. I'm not too sure. Let me see. It probably can't, but I gotta lab it and make sure. Certain instances, I think it can hit characters from behind them, right? So these are really good. Another special that Hyde has is 22B or 22A. A little bit close. 22B, farther reach. 22C is a multi-wave to kind of push your opponent in the corner, keep your pressure. You can also chain it back into each other. So you can do 22A, 22B, 22B, 22A, or 22B, 22C. You can do these things to keep your opponent guessing and overall continue your pressure. But what I want y'all to realize and know, when you're in the corner or when you put your opponent in the corner, 22B is +1 on block. So this is also good for kind of resetting your pressure. So I can do something like this: 6B, 22B, 6B again, go in. Or if I have meter, do something like this and incorporate grabs and such. 22B, 22B, charge 5C, 6B, 2A whip are really good for resetting Hyde's pressure. So for my beginner players, do 22B a lot when you have your opponent in the corner because it's +1 on block. But when you're fighting high level players and they start to incorporate shield, that's when the plus frame, and they shield it correctly, that's when the plus frames get null and void. So be mindful of that. And you'll start to notice the more you play Under Knife and Birth, right? This is self-explanatory. Hyde has a DP. He has a A version, B version, EX version, and I guess this special too. But this special that I just showed y'all is really only used to chain shift things or to punish things that you wouldn't be able to because of the range. So let's say, for example, right? Hyde is throwing orbital. Orbital. If I have VOPAL, right? Let me do it one more time. Orbital. If I have VOPAL, right? I can't really punish him like this. I can jump over it because of the examples I showed you earlier. I might get punished. If I chain shift and do this, I can punish him. And that also works in the corner too. So this is really only used to punish your opponent when he's at a range where your DP can't connect with him, right? So that move is only really good for punishing your opponent in the mid screen or the spacing, and really only used for combo enders. So you do something like this. Let me see, what's a simple combo? You would do something like this. That was a terrible example, but you get what I mean. It can be used as a combo ender, but again, people or high players, the higher you go with high, you don't really use that as an ender because you can save the meter to continue your pressure. But again, it's there if you want it. What's another special that Hyde has? Oh yeah, his 2-on-4. Fausto, Sekido, Thado. This special, the A version is kind of like low grounded, right? The A version is low grounded, and this can be special canceled into J orbital, 236C orbital. That's really good for continuing your pressure. The B version is mainly to kind of catch airborne characters. For example, Seth, Makava, maybe Hilda when she does the teleport. This is not really used outside of combo routes and kind of going on the other side of your opponent. But again, the more you play Hyde, you might find different utility than me when I play him. But again, it's not bad. It can be used as an anti-air option, but it's mainly used for combo routes. His C version is literally just to get the corner carry. Literally. You see I was in mid-screen, and now I'm in the corner. The C version is mainly to get your opponent into the corner. Nothing more, nothing less, and to add on a little damage after you finish your combo, right? Self-explanatory. And I think that's really it in terms of Hyde special. He has, again, projectile, DP, 214, 22A, 22B. Oh, let me say a little bit about 22A and 22B in the neutral. 22A and 22B is really only used to kind of countering projectiles. So let's say, for example, if Hyde is throwing an orbital, let me do it again. If Hyde is throwing an orbital, I can kind of counter it with 22A. And also, 22C destroys projectiles. So that's really good if you want to kind of close in on your opponent. So 22C destroys projectiles. You get the thing. You come in. You can rush down. So on and so forth. And so on and so forth. And I guess this ain't really a special move, but I guess it counts in the special category. Hyde's force function. Hyde's force function is this little, I guess, down swipe move he has. This is mainly really used for frame traps and resetting your pressure with 236A orbital and keeping that space. And it's also really good to pile up chip damage. Look at how much chip damage this shit does on hit. It's really good. And fully charged, it's an overhead. Right? So if your opponent is turtling and you kind of want to have him guess something, charging this is good. And especially at VOPAL, you can change shift, continue your pressure, do it again, and so on and so forth. Right? I think that's his special moves. His special moves are self-explanatory. The orbitals are meant to kind of extend pressure. 214 can act as an anti-air, but it's not really used outside of combo routes. And you can pressure with it with J236A or 236C orbital. 22B is +1 on block in the corner. 22A and 22B in the neutral. It kind of be used as an anti-zoning strat, but some people use it. Me personally, I don't use it as much, but depending on the matchup, this can be very viable. And yeah, he just has regular DP. So if someone's pressuring you, DP is a good answer to say, get the fuck off me. And now, we're going to hop into Hyde's VOPAL trait. Hyde's VOPAL trait is, upon obtaining VOPAL, he gets way more chip damage. Hyde's overall game plan is for you to kind of condition your opponent to block and do mistakes because they want to get out of the oppressive, I guess, pressure resets. And the more your opponent blocks with Hyde, the more their health is going to diminish because of the chip damage. Hyde's VOPAL trait is that upon having VOPAL, his FF or his force function has decrease in recovery. It's also faster, right? So the force function is faster, has less recovery, and you get more chip damage. This is really good. And for high players or beginner players, you really want to strive for this VOPAL state, especially when you're playing high. Because if you have overall good pressure, you don't really need to do much to beat your opponent outside of simple things like this, grab, because the chip damage is going to pile up and it's going to force your opponent to make an interaction with you, which you can benefit off of if you see it and you bait it, and now you can get more reward because you punished it correctly, right? That's one of Hyde's vocal traits, just makes his FF a lot faster, a lot more safe, and it piles on more chip damage. And again, I know I explained this a little bit. Hyde's overall game plan in Under Knife and Birth is to condition your opponent to do something that you can benefit off of, right? So if I'm doing moves like this, like 2-2-V +1 on block, FF into 3-3-6 orbital is kind of a frame trap. Do it again. The spacing makes me do it over and over and over again. You assault. And also, and one of the things I failed to mention is that strike throw with grab is insanely strong, is because in the corner, Hyde gets a regular combo. So the game plan with Hyde is to chip your opponent down to where they want to do something, and that's when you kind of incorporate grab to kind of mess with your opponent's head. Again, the more you play Under Knife and Birth, shielding is going to become a factor with Hyde, because upon shielding Hyde's 2-2-B, it negates the plus frames. But that's why you want to incorporate the grab game early, because now, okay, I got to watch out for the chip, I got to watch out for the grab, and I got to watch out for the explosive damage upon him getting a successful whiff punish or him just baiting me to do something. So Hyde is mainly used for conditioning your opponent and reaping the rewards off of just your opponent wanting to get out the corner. Hyde can be extremely annoying in that department. But overall, yeah, we cover his normals, we cover his special, we cover his VOPAL traits, his overall game plan, and hopefully this video was educational for y'all. I probably stumble over my words a lot, but forgive me. But at the end of the day, if y'all like the video, make sure y'all hit the like button. If y'all fuck with the content heavy, considering subscribing, and comment down below on what character I should have a basic guide for next. Till the next one, y'all have a safe time and overall a great day.